So as you know, on Friday, July 16th, Niagara-on-the-Lake, along with the rest of the province, moved into step 3 of its roadmap to reopen. And so far, this transition has gone very well in Niagara-on-the-Lake. I gave an extensive update regarding the regulations last week, so I will not give a recap of that this week, but I will let you know about other announcements that have been made since my last update. So today, the Government of Canada announced easing of border measures for fully vaccinated travelers. So on September 7th, provided that the situation remains favorable, Canada intends to open Canadian borders to any fully vaccinated travelers who have completed the full course of vaccination with a Government of Canada accepted vaccine, as long as it's at least 14 days prior to entering Canada. And as the first step, on August 9th, Canada plans to begin allowing entry to American citizens and permanent residents who are currently residing in the US and who have been fully vaccinated for at least 14 days prior to entering Canada. We've had a couple of announcements from the provincial government as well. So on Thursday, the Ontario government announced it will be investing $10.5 million to provide up to 60,000 small businesses across the province with free health and safety training over the next 3 years. So the purpose of the new small business health and safety training program is to enhance health and safety awareness to help prevent illness and injuries. And the reason for the focus on small businesses is because small businesses have less resources to learn about health and safety than other businesses may have, and they've had significant financial pressures as a result of the pandemic. So all small businesses that have somewhere between 6 and 19 employees are required to have a health and safety representative, and so they are eligible for this program. And the Small Business Health and Safety Training Program will cover the course registration costs for an employee who's appointed. And as well, the program will reimburse small businesses $150 toward that rep's training time. So the e-learning training course is offered through the Workplace Safety and Prevention Services, which is a health and safety association. And that information will also be posted on our website so that small businesses can easily find that. Additionally, last week on July the 13th, the province announced that they'll be simplifying the application process and providing increased financial supports for individuals applying to a second career program. As the province, as economy begins to reopen, these changes will make it easier for those that are laid off or unemployed to pursue training and start a new career path. So laid off and unemployed workers will experience a faster second career application process than they may have seen in the past. And they will no longer need to provide a huge amount of documentation to get that funding. The program is increasing weekly basic living supports for rent and for mortgage and other expenses up to $500 a week. And in regards to other announcements, misinformation has become a really big concern. Unfortunately, it's one of the biggest challenges I think that the world is facing in the COVID-19 fight. There was a little bit of a controversy this past week around comments that the World Health Organization's chief scientists said that were misinterpreted to mean that they were opposed to the interchangeability of vaccination, so having one vaccine in a different type for the second dose. And this was unfortunately framed as opposing Canada's approach to this interchanging of the first and second doses. Subsequently, the chief scientist further clarified that public health agencies can decide on that based on evidence, and that would be okay. And she urged that this evidence guide these decisions. But unfortunately, since those news stories, Niagara has seen many, many people turn away and leave the clinics rather than get their second dose. And this has really had an impact on people's confidence on vaccination and their choice on whether to get vaccinated or not. So our Chief Medical Officer of Health has encouraged us to urge our families and friends to be cautious about potential misinformation and make sure that we're getting information from credible sources, reading the details, and better understanding the context and nuances. So now I'll switch over to what's happening in Niagara-on-the-Lake, specifically as it relates to COVID-19. Good news that the track and fitness area at the community center has reopened. With the transition to step 3, they opened their doors on Friday, July 16th at 8 a.m. and all went very well with the opening. It has been a gradual reopening and it's been slow to pick up. There were 17 visitors on Friday, 13 on Saturday, and 12 on Sunday, but we do expect that that will pick up over time. The room rentals at the community center will commence on September 7th. So interested groups can reach out to Dan, who is our supervisor of Parks and Recreation, to get that started. With the heat upon us, in order to provide relief for those visiting Niagara-on-the-Lake during extreme heat, the town will once again offer temporary indoor cooling centers when there's a heat advisory in effect. So for July, the cooling center is going to be located in the market room of the courthouse, and the air-conditioned space is conveniently located across the street from the Market Street Public Washroom and will be open from 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So on days when the cooling center is open, signage will be posted in the surrounding area and staff will share that information on our website and through our social media channels. And then in August, the cooling center will move to the community center. So that will be available the hours that the community center is open. And of course, at the cooling center, any attendees will be required to wear a mask and maintain physical distancing from anyone not in their household, and ensure that there's adherence to all provincial regulations. We are happy to welcome back many sports teams since the move to Step 3. So we have now got baseball and soccer having returned. In terms of our water programs, aquatics is going well and still available for swimming lessons. And of course, our water features such as the Memorial Pool, St. David's Pool, Wading Pool, and Splash Pad are also open. Another change is that starting on Tuesday, July 27th, the Queenston Library will be open on Tuesdays for library services. And the other thing that's going on in Niagara-on-the-Lake right now is the Ambassador Program continued again this weekend. Reaction of visitors has been very positive. The Ambassador Volunteer Group, though, is continuing their outreach to attract new volunteers for the season. They have less volunteers than they had hoped for, so you'll see that an ad will go out in many of the arts and culture newsletters, as well as the village newsletter, and also in the local papers this week. They've had an additional 3 volunteers join, and they're looking to get another half a dozen or more. So if you know of anyone that's interested, please direct them to the Shaw Guild or to the town, and we can direct accordingly. So on the vaccination front, we have vaccinations upcoming on July 21st and 22nd at the community center, and we will be having another clinic added for July the 30th as well, though this hasn't yet been advertised on the website. It will be soon. For our vaccine statistics, as of yesterday, there have been almost 578,000 doses administered. 68% of Niagara residents have had their first dose, and 52.6% have completed the series, so having had both the first and second dose. In regards to traffic, we saw an increase in traffic again this weekend. It went up to 11,875 incoming cars. That's a 2% increase over last weekend, where we saw 11,594 cars. Now, because of the heavy rains, it meant we had a very quiet day on Saturday, but Sunday was beautiful weather, so we saw a very busy downtown, making up for the quiet Saturday. With many things now open under Step 3 of the reopening roadmap, bylaw staff are now focused on ensuring that capacity limits don't exceed what is permitted and ensuring that provincial guidance is followed, such as physical distancing, mask wearing, and making sure there are safety plans in place at businesses. In the downtown area, parking staff visited, or enforcement staff visited many patios and assisted them to reposition their tables to ensure adequate physical distancing and adherence to the regulations. So still helping out with the businesses to make sure everything's properly in place. Our parking officers issued 141 parking tickets this weekend. And in addition, the officers were focused on ensuring public health guidance and provincial regulations were adhered to and addressing any STR complaints that came forward. So good news on the bylaw enforcement front. Council had previously approved the 6-month contract for a bylaw enforcement officer to help with the special enforcement area pilot. and that staff member has been hired and will begin on July 26th. We should also have the new bylaw officer hired that was approved under the modernization grant, and we're looking forward to them starting in late July or early August as well. So that should help significantly with our enforcement efforts. And now on to our good news stories. So the Park Hop. Niagara-on-the-Lake's first Park Hop is set to launch this week. So this is a great family-friendly initiative that encourages families and kids to explore our many great parks and play structures throughout the town, and doing so with an animal-themed scavenger hunt. So the media release will go out tomorrow, and you'll see more news posted on our website and social media channels. The Garden of the Week program will be wrapping up soon too, just 2 weeks left. We've seen lots and lots of beautiful gardens submitted under the contest. The one area that we still haven't seen a lot of submissions is under the children's gardens category. So we're encouraging parents, grandparents, and guardians to get out there with their budding gardeners to make sure that they check out the Join the Conversation garden page and submit a photo of the child's gardening skills for a chance to win a prize. So just a reminder that submission deadline is July the 30th, and then the Communities in Bloom Committee will choose the top 3 in each category, and it'll open up then for the public to vote for the final winners. The Queen's Royal Beach, so just a reminder that that survey regarding Queen's Royal Beach and the Niagara River Remedial Action Plan is open until August 6th. So you'll recall that a recent assessment indicated that thanks to all the great work and the collaboration of many community partners, all of the water quality and remediation goals have been met, which is great news. So now we just need the public's feedback. So we're asking that the public visit ourniagarariver.ca/beach for more information and to complete that survey. In other good news, we have Parasport Ontario coming to Niagara-on-the-Lake on Thursday, July 22nd, and they'll be coming to promote their Million Minutes campaign, handing out some cool swag outside of the courthouse from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. The Million Minutes is a one-of-a-kind challenge to Niagara's disability community, along with friends and families, to help record 1 million minutes of physical activity. So if enough of us do it, even 20 minutes of activity each day this summer, we can make Niagara the most active disability community in Canada. So if you're interested in participating, please visit millionminutes.ca, and it will give you more information and also indicate how to join the challenge.